Hello, welcome to Line War. I'm John Joe, and today we're playing against the AI. But this is just a replay, so I'm just going to speed it up to ×2, because that's how we're going to be watching it. So, ×2. And now we can see how the AI is playing already, right now. So, first off, they go for a barracks. Oh, and be aware, I'm trying to test whether the AI can defeat me if I only use infantry. So this is the map for only infantry that I'm using. I'm starting as far up in the corner to give us some gaps, because the infantry tactic mostly works at close range. But being this far out, I'm mostly going to outnumber them. That's the plan anyway. I'm going to pretend that I don't know the outcome of the battle. And yeah, so far he's actually saving some money. He's not spending everything that they've got. I can't remember. Did they pick all of their territories at the beginning? I can't tell. 1, 2... No, not that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think they did. I think they only selected 5, unless I'm just being blind because of colour blindness, but yeah. They've just captured that one, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 5, maybe 6, but I'm not sure. But you can see how the AI is kind of working. It just occasionally updates its commands. It seems to split off the units into sections and small groups. We've got a commando on the field there. So they kind of just try and split off their units into groups. My mouse wheel does not work at all. I need a new mouse. That's partly the reason I haven't played much recently. But yeah, so you can see they keep on just deleting everything and then resetting their lines based on the positions of their current units. And then they just expand based on that sort of knowledge. They gain knowledge as they go, and then they update their commands. And that's pretty much how it's going. So we're going to just switch over to see how I'm doing. Well, actually, I'm just going to turn off Fog of War. The commands I'm going to turn off, as you can see, it's kind of chaotic. So I'm just going to turn those off for now. I'm starting in the corner. I'm going to try and build a city. I can build eco structures, and I've turned off my production to build those, because I don't know how good the AI is at this, to be honest. I've played him a couple of times, but not doing this so much. And the AI and me are both on ×1, just so you know. There's no handicap involved. And yeah, I basically started off with 5 territories, and I built 7 barracks there. And that's it. And then I'm spreading my units out as equally as I can. That way, and I'm probably not going to respond that much to the attacks apart from with dot commands, just to draw my units into focus fire. But I want my units to spread out. The point of this tactic, or strategy, is not necessarily, not that it's a good idea to do only infantry, but only infantries, or mostly infantries, are quite good if you back it up with anti-air, because that's pretty much its weakness. But I can't do that in this battle. But the idea is to find a main army, mainly, like usually it's artillery. They build up a large group of artillery, and you just stop them from progressing because you keep sending small amounts of units in. And while that's happening, you can spread across the rest of the map, essentially trapping them. So I'm kind of at a disadvantage. I started right in the corner, but I am allowed to build eco, so that's kind of how I'm going with that. And he's got a city location too, but I've noticed the AI isn't too worried about building economy structures. I'm assuming they're going to be focused on trying to get as much territory as they can before they worry about that. Right, I'm going to keep the AI's commands on. That would make it a bit easier and we can see it a bit more interestingly. So he's got a helicopter on the field now, and I'm going to be struggling with that, to be fair. And he's put it just here. I think that's just because it was the closest unit to the structures. But that was just unfortunate for me, because he has got that range between them both. But the helicopter is going to return. And I can shoot the helicopters. Infantry will shoot them down, but they're just not really that effective at it. I'm not sure if he's taking the threat of my units that seriously, in all honesty. He's got his groups over here, which is doing great, but he hasn't got a lot of production going. He does have some money left over, but he's just used it. Trying to find out where he built that. He's building an energy well. He needs it for his air units, which are about to run out of energy. And those air units are actually going to be really helpful against me in this. I'm currently building a city now, I think. By the looks of it, yeah. That's building into a city. So if we just take a look at the above view map, it does look like he's got more territory than me. We're at 10 minutes. Wow, 11 minutes. which is about 10 minutes of battling. We started at 1 minute in. So he's got 750, and I am on 780. I'm just slightly above his economy. But the only infantry does work really well, partly because infantry grab land really fast. And I'm building eco structures, so it's not too surprising that I'm ahead. I think if I played my usual way, he'd actually be ahead of me in economy generally. So he's got quite a few more helicopters now. They're going to clear up quite a lot of this space. Unless he lands right here where I can shoot him. A lot easier. But no, he's off. But as you can see, I'm just stopping most of the units getting close to me. So he's not actually making much progress towards me. And my units are just happily walking around the edge of the map. As are these guys, just casually going that way. But to be fair, the AI has expanded down here. He's making his way this way towards me. And he does have a group of units over here. He's just updated his commands. That was a bit chaotic. Where are these units going? Why not just have these guys go there and these guys go that way? I think the AI got a bit confused there. I put a strike command, I think, onto the airfield just to see if I could snipe it, and I didn't. Got one unit left there who practically looks dead as it is. But he's bringing his helicopters up into the north area again. Trying to focus on those units there, and my units over here are casually going over. I didn't even notice he had actually started building the eco over on this side. He doesn't have too much to defend it. I reckon I could still get through that. So yeah, as you can see, my units are spread out, so they're all very thinly spread out, but the benefit of that is the front lines still do build up a few in numbers, and I'll probably lose a couple of the engagements, but eventually, I start breaking through in certain sections. And he's spreading out towards this side. How far have I gotten up in the north? Not doing too bad. The infantry is going across on this side. But he is starting to apply a lot more pressure here. And the way you deal with pressure when using only infantry, especially on a very big open map on this one, is you can start building... I'll have to bring up all commands again. You can start putting these in these sort of locations and it will start feeding more, just literally adding extra pressure into these zones. And I'm trying to figure out where I've put more barracks. I'll put another barracks here to help the expansion. I put 2 here because of the choke point here. Just in case I couldn't hold it, it'd be easier to hold with some barracks behind it. And I don't think I've done too much else over there, so I'm going to turn the commands off for myself again. And he's pulling away from this area, so I think the distraction tactic's working really well against the AI. He's just trying to stop any units getting away, and they're too spread out for him to handle. Based on what I'm seeing now, he would actually never reach my base. Just based on the fact that he'll see some units close to his, and he'd have to force all of them that way. Doesn't seem to be able to build too much. I certainly don't think I can take an AI on ×4 yet. But I haven't really tried. I tried doing this sort of thing against it the first time, but it definitely didn't work. The picking phase is kind of difficult when you're against the ×4. So down here, it looks like the first engagement I lost, or at least some just sort of strayed away. But yeah, the second group managed to stop at the choke point, and they've managed to push through on that section there. So now there's not too much standing in the way in the south, and I'm going to be able to get through there. I've got a group here as well for some strange reason. I think they must have taken some lands here, and the Red's taken them back. Up in the north, there you go. You can see his units are still just going back and forward. He's trying to send an attack to me now. So he's not completely distracted. And I'm already at the base up in the north here. He's got 2 eco structures, 2 industries. They are going to go down. And then I'm just going to carry on going this way. I'm not going to worry about where he actually is. My objective with those guys is to just obtain more money. Keep on expanding through the map. And the AI has actually is struggling with energy. He's got too many air units and not enough energy wells. I think that's partly because I've destroyed some. One here was one there. He's building some more, so he's recognized his own issue, and he is going to be trying to deal with that. He's building an eco down right in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. And I won't be able to get there for a long time, so he might be able to push back later, depending on how much eco he can actually build up. But the AI is actually building up larger numbers around his main infrastructure here. Around his main base. But I'm also getting closer to the base, so it's just that added pressure. And you can see every time I come back here, I've just got more barracks. The benefit of doing only infantry simply relies on overwhelming the enemy. You get too many infantry, and because they're so cheap to make. Infantry are so cheap, so you get more economy per minute because you're not producing expensive units. Which means you can also have tons and tons of infantry. You can just see them sprawling across the top of the map. And he's sending out a small strike force to try and deal with the reinforcements there, not even actually being able to handle the front line. He's retreating a SAM unit from over here, and he's going to try and bring these units up into this section that way. So he's just still trying to expand at the moment in that side. Let's have a quick look at the economy now, because we've both been expanding and we've actually been fighting for a bit. So he's on 1,350, whereas I am on 1,500. I'm not doing too bad. I'm at least able to keep up with the AI. In the south, he's built some structures over here, and it's just not been enough to hold me back. I think that's the main benefit with the infantry, because they stream into the artillery, and the artillery are pretty much the main effective unit on the ground, but they're just so slow. So the artillery just simply don't make any progress, or worse, move backwards, because they're getting destroyed. Like these two, for some reason, are on a blue line, and they just literally walked into my infantry before deploying. Looks like we're struggling with energy again. You can see the black smoke coming from the strikers and the helicopters out in the field. Which does mean that if I can catch up in time, I could start taking out the helicopters as they're on the ground. We've got guys there. Some of the helicopters are lifting again. I don't understand why they're not moving. We got 15 energy and storage for the AI. I think it's just trying to manage it so it doesn't get too low. I'm not sure, but the AI is now setting up defenses. It's recognized that I'm actually a threat now, and decided it needs to set up some defenses. I think that was way too late. Having a constant stream of units, it might be wise to try and set up the defense, the AI, and then have some units move around it. And that may avoid certain situations like that. And to be fair, I could probably learn from that myself, because I rarely ever set up defenses. But I've just covered the top part of the map now. I've pretty much bordered the entire top and left side of the screen. Working my way across the bottom. And he's defending this section well. Considering the amount of area I've gone around, I've pretty much trapped him in the middle of the map at this point. And to be fair, how is he doing in the bottom right? So he's still focusing on some more economy, so that's good. And he's got a power plant in the bottom right, just in case he can't keep the energy wells. I'm not sure. Has he got any down there? Let's have a look. Not really, and they are in danger, so yeah, I think he's going to have to rely on power plants soon. And I'm not sure if it's because I have infantry coming in at all directions that these defences, I noticed when I was playing against him, they seem to just be at the wrong sort of angle. Like, this one's not too bad, but I've got units coming in at the top as well. And there was once a time, I can't remember where it is. Oh, here. I'm coming in through the right-hand side, and he set up a defense like this, which isn't as effective. I mean, these two are not too bad, but obviously as I get through it, I just start pushing through the side of the defense. It makes it kind of pointless, because I never once attacked down like this way. So I just found that a bit confusing. But I do think the AI has come out really good. I think the only thing I was hoping for was that you could add multiple AIs. I think there may have been an issue with performance or something, more than likely there would have been. But it would be quite cool to try and play an FFA with just a ton of AIs. But otherwise, the AI does react really, really well. Not necessarily for people who are incredibly experienced at the game, which, not necessarily me, as I've completely left this group of units here doing nothing. But for people who are new to the game, I think the AI is pretty good, especially with a handicap rating. You can always just set it lower. I tried teaching my son how to play. He's 8 years old, and he's slowly learning the controls and everything. He knows to expand. And the AI has been helpful, but I think he just likes to play it on when he's ×4, and the AI is like ×0.75. And he just owns the map at the beginning of the game, pretty much. But he's having fun, so I let him. But I'm trying to get him to learn to have the challenge, but I think he's just happy at the minute, doing what he wants to do. But I got another city coming out over here. I think I'll focus more on economy again. As I realised I was fairly ahead, I thought I'd make myself even further ahead. So I'm going for that economy boost. I'm pushing into the base now. The defences are gone. But he's left the command up, which means they're going to continuously keep trying to build that defence. Instead of dealing with these units here, the defence should be deleted and have some commands over here to try and deal with those. He's got a retreated defence line here to come back to. And my mouse wheel's breaking again. There we go. And he does seem to have a stronger force now. He's trying to bring them in over the mountains, and that's one of the best places to try and deal with an all-infantry thing. Set up the defences in mountain terrain. Your artillery will gain a massive boost in attacking, because the infantry will be walking incredibly slow. But I am pushing down. The right-hand side has managed to get through, but the middle section of this area hasn't really. And it is a bit threatening to this area here. I can just place more dot commands if I need to. And I'm even managing to take out the aircraft with my infantry now. But I was tempted to play until the AI was completely destroyed and take over the entirety of the map. But I thought I'd just let the AI give up whenever it's ready. Because I thought that was quite good as well, because the games can take quite a long time, and the AI recognizes that the time when it's losing, and it even says GG to you, which is quite nice. But now I've got my units here. Instead of bringing them down this way, I just kept bringing my reinforcements in this way. I added some barracks, and I just brought these guys in over the top and through that way. And he saw it coming and set up defences nicely. Right in the forest as well. Considering he's got infantry, that seems like a good idea. But when I'm using infantry, it would have been better to have it away from the forest. Less battles when I'm in the forest. But again, the AI isn't really meant for that sort of thinking. It's just meant to be someone to play against, I think. I do feel like most of the games against the AI, other than the maps being different, the AI pretty much does the same thing. So there we go. He said GG. I didn't think I'd get the message, but there we go. I give in. Well, I don't. The AI gave in, and I accepted. He surrendered. So throughout the game, you can see I've got 56,000 capital generated in total, and they got 40,000. But for most of the game, we were fairly equal. I was slightly above at some times. And it was just sort of the middle of the game. I think this is where I started building those cities. But yeah, so I think the one thing I'd like to see from the AI maybe, or one thing that could be done would be to have it have the idea of different types of styles of play. Maybe it could just roll a dice, and then it could focus heavily on ground attacks. I don't know. Or maybe it just focuses heavy on air attacks. I mean, obviously ocean maps might not be good to focus on land, so maybe have a little bias in it. If the map is more than 50% ocean, then it's not likely to focus on land units and will focus mostly on navy. But then it could flip from air and navy, you know, that sort of thing. And that way the player doesn't really know what to expect from the AI and would have to adapt. And maybe the AI could have that sort of interval where it changes its tactic over time in some form of heavier sense. I don't know. What do you think of the AI so far? I assume some of you have played it. I don't know if this is your first time seeing the AI. Let me know in the comments below. There are 2 videos on screen right now. Feel free to click on one, and I'll see you there.